Welcome to the program, Camille Sullivan.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on. Of course, you know, seen you in a number of things over the years, done some great work. But it's something about your role on Shoresy as Laura Moore. There's just something about it, and I really feel it has to do with the chemistry, with Jared on camera. In fact, we've had a number of people from Shoresy on the show, and Kalani Elizabeth Rose was like, she's like, my favorite scenes in the show are Jared and Camille.
She's the nicest person in the world, though, too.
Well, see, I myself am not that nice, and I agree with her. So,
Good, okay.
but it's just something about, I don't know, when it looks at season one, it's very much the, guy just, flirting, kind of being a dog sort of thing. And of course, Laura, a seasoned reporter, being like, no, I know this type of shit, whatever, bud, okay. But then the beginning of episode 2, season 2, when Laura asked Shoresy, what do you really say about me? And he does that, you're smart, capable, rational, dependable, outgoing, kind, consistent, you're a leader. And then there's a look in your eyes at that moment when it's like, really? And he's like, you can quote me on that. That I was like, as a viewer, I'm like, okay, this is going to they're actually going to become something now. They're going to go the next level. This is not just a dog trying to get into a woman's pants. He's actually beginning to charm her. So this season, you guys have become like they were such sweet, yet funny, yet sexy scenes.
Yeah.
What was it like putting that together?
It was pretty fun and pretty different than what I usually get to do. So that was really exciting and fun for me. And it's like you say, because I had to, at the beginning of season 1, there's no chance. There's no chance.
No chance.
Never. And then he just wears me down. And then he's so genuinely sweet and charming in some of those moments that I think it sort of just like hits her in the face, like, wait a minute, maybe, maybe he could be okay, and she's getting one over, and I don't know how it's going to go. I'm terrified. Given my whole heart here, and now.
Well, I did, like Andrew was saying, it's like I really appreciated the development of the relationship, because at first she is such a good foil to Shoresy, right? Like, she's not putting up with his bullshit, because Shoresy is Shoresy, and she's just putting him in his place. And I can totally see why Shoresy would be attracted to that, because who doesn't like a strong person, like a person who can, go toe to toe with you?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's so smart in the writing that Jared writes Laura as so strong and exactly can go toe to toe to him, doesn't put up with any bullshit. At the same time, he puts the cues in there where it gives me the opportunity to fall for him, to see, where the changes can be and make those changes seem organic, which seemed like sort of the trickiest part of season 2 was just like, how do I go from here to here?
Well, I think when somebody says to you, I'd tongue kiss a toaster to vacuum your fucking car, like, that's love right there.
Well, it's pretty charming. It's pretty hard not to be charmed. Yeah.
Ooh, we got an email in from longtime listener Kelly T. I'll read the movie review part of your email later, but they start off by saying, "Hey geeks, good guest choice tonight with Camille. Excellent in Rookie Blue." So there we go.
Oh, nice.
Long-time fan.
Shout out for a while ago, but
yeah.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, and that brings up a really great point. You've been, working in the industry. You've worked on so many shows and had these opportunities to play so many different characters, right? Like, you're not like a lot of Canadian actors have this ability to be able to just be like, you're going to do a horror thing, you're going to do an action thing, you're going to do a cop thing, a drama thing, like a Christmas movie. It doesn't matter. You guys are out there and you're doing it. When you're looking at that breadth of work that you've gone through, like when you look at something like a Shoresy, which is, it's a little bit different because it is that type of, like, I'm going to call it like the Jared Kiso style of comedy, because it's so heartfelt.
Yeah.
I'd like to call it the Jared and Jacob style of comedy.
So fair.
I feel that Jacob Jared is just involved.
Yeah. But like working in something like that compared to some of the other projects, like what is the for you, your experience on the set working with the team, like what is that like compared to some of the other projects you work on?
Well, it is quite different for me than what I usually do because I usually do heavy drama, and that's sort of what I do. So I really credit Jared too. I've known him for years and years and years, and so for him to come at me with this part, I was really grateful and really happy to get the opportunity to do it. And on set, it's a blast. Everyone's really nice. They work, but everyone knows their job. It's a machine, probably because they did Letterkenny for so long. It's just you go in there, it's like the fastest crew I've ever worked with. And but you don't lose any quality and you don't lose any fun. No one's ever stressed out either. Everyone's just like having a good time and still making all these pages in a day. It's unbelievable. And they're just great too, with just letting me come in and do what I want to do. And, they give me notes if I need them, but if I don't need them, they're just like, that's great, go home.
No.
Are you able to, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say in season 2, though, I'm hoping this changes in season 3. But was it weird for you that in season 2, 90% of your scenes were shot in a doorway or stoop?
Well, we did them all in one day.
Okay.
So that was a big day. But yeah, it does change in season 3. But no, I didn't mind that. I kind of liked I love the doorway scenes. They're so cute. It's like I open the door and he's just working his way in and working his way in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the sense of like the guardedness, that she has towards him. It's almost like, okay, I'm going to slam this door in your face, if you don't say
she's
something.
been hurt before, yeah.
Yeah, she's dated hockey players before, and it's been obviously terrible. And but he's so persistent, and I think there's a line in season 1 or something about that his persistence is so charming, and it really is. I mean, I wasn't even, as an actor, I wasn't even prepared for it.
Well, we've talked about this with other cast members, and me and Andrew have talked about this off air as well. Is like it's still shocking to think of Shoresy being like as good a show as it is for a character, while very funny and very cool from Letterkenny.
Was a one-note character.
Yeah, it was just, and you never saw his face. We all knew who he was, but you never saw his face. It was a whole, and I was like, how are they going to do a show where you don't see his face? That was my little inside, like, joke to myself, because I was like, how are you going to do that? But of course, obviously, we know we're going to see him, and that was great. But it still blows my mind that they've taken a character like that and blown out, and then expanded the universe to include characters like yourself and Kalani and others, so that it is not just this one note kind of series.
Yeah, it's amazing that both things can exist. He can be that guy who's very abrasive and all those things that's fun and funny and we love. And then there's this very sweet heart as well that comes out and seems just as natural for that character, seems just as real and grounded. And then I think you're able to have this, amazingly well-rounded show that's fucking hilarious and crass as shit, but then also very sweet, very heartfelt.
Yeah, it's got heart. It's got tons of heart, and like, as it's said throughout the episode, it sets the fucking tone. It really does.
The fucking tone.
We got an email in from Dawn S. Again, Dawn, I'll save your movie rating for when we review the movie. But you start off by saying here, Camille is a brilliant actress. Everything that she did that I saw was brilliant. So there you go. Another fan out there.
That's lovely. Thank you.
Yes. Now, you mentioned that this role in Shoresy is very different from what you usually do. And you've done a lot of deep, heavy drama. But something you've done a lot more recently has been kind of the thrillers. You've done a lot of thriller parts, and there's one particular thriller that got a lot of good buzz off of its festival appearances and is streaming in the US now, but is coming to Canada probably at the end of this month, and that is Exile.
It's a great movie starring Adam Beach. It's a psychological thriller, lots of twists and turns, and really weird romantic dynamic.
Yeah, from what I've seen of the trailer and stuff, it's like, a man is in prison and he's getting out, and his inmate is basically saying, if you go anywhere near your family or if you get involved with anybody, I'm going to kill them just to hurt you. And you play the wife, right?
Yeah, I played the wife. And so the question is for most of the movie is, was that threat real or is it
Yeah.
imagined in his head? Is he going crazy? And I'm the wife who's like, no, you're not going to go move to the woods and abandon our family. I'm just going to say no to that. And I'm just going to
Yeah.
change this.
And you go like great lengths to try to get him back, to get him
Great,
out of what you think
insane.
he's in. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you could have that fantasy where someone is suffering and you just go in and you just pull them out with sheer determination. That's kind of what happened.
Now,
Right.
did you approach that film like method wise? Were you and Adam in deep, dark, emotional places while you were making this film, or were you
No,
able
no,
to
not
just,
at
yeah?
all. Not at all. Like, I mean, it's quite the movie gets very emotional, but we laughed a lot. He's a
That's good.
really fun guy and fun to work with. And so, yeah, just joked around all the time. You
Do
need
you,
to, otherwise
Oh,
it's too depressing.
yeah.
I was going to say, because like when you're dealing with, unlike in a comedy, a lot of people look at it and go, "Oh, well, serious stuff. It's going to be hard," and but obviously the actors we've spoken to, and it sounds like this is with you as well in this experience, is that the laughs behind the scenes just to keep your own personal sanity. Is that like one of your go-to moves to kind of just like divorce yourself away from the characteristics that you're inhabiting at certain times?
Yeah, it is. I don't like to carry the character with me when the camera's not rolling, because it's too hard for me, especially with a lot of parts I play. They're so heavy, they're so dark, and when the camera rolls, that's when I need the emotion to come. So if I'm holding it all day, I feel like the emotion is just draining out of me all day, and then when the camera rolls, there's not that punch left. So the laughing in between is, well, one, it's fun. It's a fun and ridiculous job, and you always have to remember that. And also, it just keeps you loose and light and enjoying yourself.
That's good. That's good. You
Yeah.
want to stay loose and light. You want to be able to just give the emotion when you need to. Totally.
Yeah.
Now, another film that's coming. Oh, and I also mentioned that that was so
Oh, sorry,
Vancouver
may I
and
have one more thing about
yeah,
Exile? Also, sorry, it's available for pre-order on Apple TV now, and it'll
right.
be available, it's having a VOD release on February 20th. There, I did
That
all my
was that was what I was going to get to because I knew about the VOD release. So there we go.
Oh, good. Okay.
Fantastic. Now, another film that you're in is actually going to be opening up the Cinequest Film Fest in San Jose at the beginning at March 7th. Uh, the Island Between Tides. Now that one sounds like a pretty interesting premise. What's that all about?
So that's sort of based on a J.M. Barrie play. J.M. Barrie wrote Peter Pan, and it's sort of based on a play called Mary Rose, and it's about my sister, played by Paloma Kwiatkowski, who's a wonderful actress. When she's a child, she wanders off onto an island, a tidal island, and when she comes back, when she emerges, 25 years have passed. And so then it's sort of about how did this happen, and where it goes from there. It's kind of a supernatural thriller. It's I think it's quite good, and I'm pretty excited for people to see it.
Yeah, no, it sounds
That
pretty cool.
Yeah, that I just imagining this idea of like you go for a stroll or get lost or whatever, and then you come back and it's 25 years later. It's like what like that
Yeah,
would
and
be
I'm her sister, so for her family, it's like she comes up, she's like, "Hey," I'm like, "No, get out of here, get out of here, you phony."
Yeah, see, I'll admit that there are times that I feel like 25 years has gone by in the blink of an eye, but at least it's been that way for everybody else. To be in a situation where it's
yeah.
just for you, that
Yeah,
sucks.
she still looks great, and I'm looking at her like, "Oh my God."
Oh, come on now. You look great too.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Now, of course, in the horror genre world, another film that's going to be playing festivals later this year is Shelby Oaks.
Yes.
That also has the most amazing voice in film, Keith David, in it.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Yeah, directed by Chris Stuckman, who a lot of people are familiar with in his feature debut. And yeah, so festival release sometime later this year. I don't have any details on it, but I'm really, really excited about that. We shot some amazing locations, and the cast is brilliant, and I think it's going to be really scary.
Yeah, it's like a
I,
woman's search for her sister that she believes that an imaginary demon is chasing them.
Yeah, so there was if you go on Twitter or whatever, there's paranormal paranoids, and this was sort of a 90s thing where you know, they would get like a YouTube channel and they would go in search of the paranormal, and then she disappears as a course of filming this series. And then this is present day, I forget how many years later. And I'm still searching for her because she's just disappeared. And I become obsessed with the search as I realize that the demon from her childhood may be involved. It gets real weird.
So I gotta ask, like, working with Keith David and hearing that voice, because every time I hear it, I'm just like, I perk up immediately because I was like, oh, it's Keith David. And he's got that chocolatey smooth, like sexy voice that's just so deep. And like, when you work with actors like that, you know, like people that have a reputation, you know, and do you ever kind of find yourself sometimes, you know, fanning out a little bit, or like you just every day you keep your head and go, no, I'm here to work and this is this, or do you have that the kind of fan experience?
Oh, I definitely have the fan experience. It's definitely pretty exciting. I mean, with Keith David, it was the last day, so I was so tired that I wasn't nervous as I would have been. Although you could tell when he came on, everyone in the crew was just like, "Oh my God. Oh my God, Keith David is here," and like just shaking. They were so excited, and it was pretty spectacular.
Yeah, that's got to be pretty awesome, definitely. But of course, it's also got to be pretty awesome to, even when it's cold, to go up for a few weeks to Sudbury and make a fun show about hockey. So in the third season, I know you cannot give anything away on that, but are we going to see more of an evolution of this Shoresy Laura relationship?
I think there's always an evolution for sure. But I don't know really what I can say without giving anything away. I mean, it'll be great, as you imagine. It's gonna
Right.
be, you're not gonna be disappointed. But yeah, I'm so scared to say anything.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Totally fair.
Do you know, can you say when you're filming, or have you
Well,
already
they already
started?
filmed.
Shot season 3.
Oh, sorry.
Shot that in November, December. Remember when we talked to the rest of the cast?
Oh,
They were going
Yeah,
off to
I don't know
shoot.
when it comes out, but yeah,
see,
it's shot.
I'm sorry. This Andrew knows this. You don't know this, Camille, but like my brain is like Swiss cheese sometimes, and then occasionally pieces fall into place.
We say he's 45% goldfish. That's what it is.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I completely blanked on that. So so you were in the, oh man, that would have been a because it was pretty cold, like early on.
Yeah, it was cold and I had some time off, but they have this amazing big Cineplex there.
Oh yeah,
That's empty every day. And so I just go see movies every day.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
Did you?
Right.
Okay, then I'll ask you this, Camille. Did you see anything that you loved, but you know that it was trash?
Oh, but I know that it was trash. I watch stuff like that all the time. It's almost exclusively what I watch, really.
No, I'm always curious about this now. Like where I've kind of gotten this trend where I'm just kind of like, I'm curious about what the things that people like to watch. Because like I'll admit to you, like there's a movie from the 80s that I love. Andrew knows about this. That little sci-fi film called Solar Babies that I love. I know it's hot garbage, but for some reason I just love this movie. I can't help myself. So that's why I was just curious. Did you see anything while you're up there?
I don't know. When I was there, I saw, not this time, but the time before, I saw Renfrew and I loved it. And I love Nicolas Cage and I thought it was great. And I hear
Renfield.
They didn't like Renfield. That's the one.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's a terrible mistake. But yeah, but I loved it. I thought it was great.
Nice.
Well, Mr. Green shares your opinion on that. I remember him giving that a good review on the show.
Oh yeah. I really liked Renfield a lot. Yeah.
There you go. Well, Camille, I want to thank you for coming on the program tonight. It's been awesome talking with you. I look forward to when Exile gets released here in Canada. And of course, our American listeners, you can go check it out right now. It's streaming in the US. So just search your services and you'll find it. And of course, all the other films you got coming out and the next season of Shoresy. Can't wait for all of that. Thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
No problem. Have yourself a great night.
Thanks, you too.